All right, so let's talk about the step-by-step process that I use to get people to pay me thousands of dollars, multiple thousands of dollars every single month, okay? And this has worked in industries like local businesses, basic kind of, typical industries like real estate, chiropractors, medical spas, things like that. And it's also worked in spaces like information marketing, with authors, public speakers, musicians. All this stuff has worked with all of these types of people. So the system is all the same. It's just all about your the ingredients that you're going to put into your system are really what's going to change. And so, how do I start by this? So let's go back a second to when I was very first. Let's go back to some of the best business advice I ever got when I was like 19 years old. And I remember I was just starting my sales organization. I was brand new. I was really struggling. Like, I went on to have all that success, and we went on to be, the #1 sales organization and sell millions of dollars worth of stuff. But I did not start that way. I was really struggling when I first got started, and I had a ton of doubt of whether or not I could actually like succeed, whether I could be a business owner, whether I could do this. Like, it was just, I was 19 years old. I was still in college at the time, trying to build something part-time on the side. And I went to my mentor, and he said, and I said, I need to make more money. I need my clients to pay me more. I need more clients. I need them to stick around. I have a few clients, and they come for a little bit, then they leave. They're not paying me very much, and it's like it wasn't working. And I remember he said something that just like at first kind of made me angry. And he said, "Hector, you just need more shots at the basket." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You just need more shots at the basket. You're not giving yourself enough attempts to get there." And I said, "Yeah, but I want to get better. I need like I have clients, they're signing on and then they're leaving, and I'm not producing at a high enough level. I don't have, a ton of case studies and results and like all these things." And he said, "Hector, you're focusing on the wrong things, right? Like, you're just not giving yourself enough chances to get those results. And what you need to do is you just need to take more shots at the basket." He said the best athletes, the best players they don't count how many shots they miss. They only count how many shots they get made, right? The great ones are the ones that make, that make the most shots. They don't, they're not afraid to take those. And he says it's the same in business. And I thought for a second, and I realized how I was being so kind of narrow and so kind of focused. And although we talked about your niche needing to be focused, we talked about that kind of needing to be narrow, there are lots of people who will recommend messaging, people individually and messaging 10 people a day and sending 10 emails, that are very custom and building custom, audits and websites. And it's like, you could do that. I don't know. It might work. But what I found is that you just end up spending a ton of time on people who aren't actually interested in what you have to say. And for me, I want to spend my time with the people who are actually interested, and I want to automate and delegate all of the rest of that to systems so that I don't have to deal with those people. And so after that moment, after that conversation, I went on an all-out, you could call it rampage, to be able to find all of the different ways that I could drive more business for my business, right? That I could drive more clients, right? All of the different avenues and all of the different paths. And what I would encourage you is to pick one and to really go in deep. But I was on a mission to find all of them. And so I got into cold texting and cold emailing and what else did we do? Direct mail. And, we were doing ads, and we were doing banner ads, and we were doing, affiliate ads, and we were literally trying everything, referrals, we were trying everything that we could. And what I realized is that as it was kind of crazy, right? And so what I realized is that I needed to automate, I needed to delegate. And as I built that into my business, I tried to find all of the ways where I could remove myself from the process. And that's really what this is about how do we remove ourselves from the sales process? Because if you're a closer, okay, if you're a hardcore salesperson, if you like sales, all right, I got a different strategy for you, okay? get one of our tools. It's called Text in Bulk. It'll give you hundreds, thousands of leads, okay? It'll give you their phone numbers. It'll let you dial right there from the system, okay? You type in how many seconds you want in between each phone call, you click the button, and it'll literally just call. And you just sit back, and I guarantee you, you do that for a couple of hours every single day, and you will have more clients than you can ever imagine. But here's the problem. Most people are like me, and most people are wimps and don't have the fortitude, don't have the cojones, don't have the whatever. It's not enjoyable. And frankly, like, I don't want to do that. I don't, like, if that's what I have to do to build a business, like, I'm gonna find something else. That's why I look for these types of solutions. And so this alternative is, instead of getting rejected hundreds of times, right? Or instead of getting, rejected every single time we're on the phone, or instead of doing sales presentations with people who can't afford us and it being so frustrated by this, what this does is similar to you guys. You guys already know it's a funnel. You guys already know about funnels, right? All we do is we implement and we integrate a funnel for our clients. But the thing is instead of using a ClickFunnels, or instead of using a Builderall, whatever it is, like, that is one component. What we need to do, instead of running Facebook ads or whatever it is, instead of doing those, we have different tools in order to be able to execute this system. So at the top of this funnel, you'll see that our databases. At the heart of the system is we need to get our leads from a place where we can find a lot of them, right? I watch a ton of nature documentaries with my son now, and the lions, right, they're smart because they hunt at the watering holes. They know that if they go to the watering holes, there's a ton of buffalo, there's a ton of zebra, there's a ton of people at the watering holes. So they go to where there's a lot of people. And similarly, we need to go where there's a lot of the businesses that we can find. And that's why really targeting and lasering in on a particular niche is helpful, because then what you can do is you can get all of the leads from a certain state from Yelp printed and put into your CRM, right? Like our tools can go out there and we can grab all of the leads from a certain niche in the industry in Yelp for the entire state, and let you email, and let you call, and let you text them, it'll just drop right in your CRM. RoboContact, right, can actually search Google Maps for businesses, right? If you want to get really, really specific about certain types of businesses, you want to go certain keywords, you want to go in certain areas, well, Google Maps is the new Yelp. And so what's great about that is you can leverage the same type of thing to be able to get leads right off of Google. Or if you're going after, super narrow stuff, right? If you're going after super niche kind of stuff, you can use what's called the Who Is registry, or you can use domains, people who buy their domains, to get leads from there. It's public information when someone buys a website. And so when someone buys a website, all their information goes into a directory, and we are able to, with our tools, are able to easily access those directories to get those people so that we can contact them, right? And so when we go, instead of, for me, I was going on Zillow.com for real estate agents, and I was manually searching for them and going on their website. Well, you can just do that with a couple of clicks. It's literally that easy. So that's the first step, is finding a place, right? Finding a way to be able to find these leads, right? And so I know Vignesh talked a little bit earlier about, where do they come from, right? We use a thing like RoboContact. And so you could literally just print leads. Not like, you could just literally print leads. And it's this easy. You can do it based on area. You can do it based on keyword. It's so simple. So that's step number one. Step number two, you'll notice, is this outreach. And you can either send them an email, you can text them, or you can call them. And you don't even have to be on the phone when you call them. What's really, really cool is we have systems that allow you to set up an automated 1-800 number, so that basically you can call them, and then if they're interested in what you have to say, it's like an automated system where if they press 1 or 2, they can leave you a message, they can schedule a call, they can automatically connect it. And so what these systems allow you to do is automatically send emails, automatically send text messages, automatically send phone calls, or you can manually do it, right? Like, that's the point, is that, like, you don't have to utilize our systems because you're like, oh, you're just trying to sell me something. No, I'm not. I'm trying to save you time. That's really what I'm trying to do. Because what we're trying to do is we have to qualify them, right? We talked about being able to find the ones that are interested, being able to find the ones that are motivated. And in order to do that, we send them to a website. So here's where your builder all websites come into handy. Here's where your ClickFunnels websites come into handy. Here's where your WordPress websites come into handy. You also don't need that. You can use a chatbot, right? You can use a demo bot to be able to do that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to pre-qualify them. We're trying to do a little commercial so that if they're down, if they're interested, if they like it, then they take the next step. And it can even be as low tech as you hosting a YouTube video and putting your Calendly link right in there in the description. And so I share that because a lot of you guys are thinking, oh yeah, Hector, that just costs a lot of money. Oh yeah, Hector, blah, 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 blah. No, F that. Those are just excuses for you that are coming up in your head because you don't want to go out there and take action, right? So when you do that, right, if you have the right stuff in your chatbot, if you have the right stuff on your sales video, if you have the right stuff on your website, you will get people who will book sales presentations with you, who will book sales calls with you. And imagine just waking up, clicking, right, sending out messages, sending them to your website, sending them to a sales video, and just having people show up in your inbox. It literally is like, I don't want to say it's that easy, but it is that simple, right? It really is that simple, and that's the system that we use to be able to go out and find these people who are actually interested in paying us. Now, the second thing though is you guys might be at different levels of your agency. And so if you guys are brand new, if you guys haven't even got your first client, you may not be ready to go out and ask someone for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month for your services. And so what you might have to do is you might have to work up to that. And so we have this inverse kind of funnel, if you will, or this inverse triangle over here on the right, because what we did is at the beginning, we did free trials until we were able to get enough results, until we were able to get enough case studies, and until we were able to get enough clout and able to get enough confidence to be able to ask for a paid pilot, right? Where we said, you know what, we're not going to lock you into any long-term commitments, nothing like that, but you're at least going to pay for the setup, you're at least going to pay for our time, right? At the very beginning, they weren't even paying for our time. They were just paying for the Facebook ads because we were running it with ads. So we were like, you know what, you just pay for the ad and then we'll do it, and we'll do all the work. And so we were literally working for free. That was a free trial. And then eventually what we started to do is once we knew that we had a system that was working, once we knew that we had something that we weren't testing or weren't trying out, well, then what we made sure that we did is we went out there and we started asking for what we call a paid pilot. And this is where they pay up front, right? Either the full price or oftentimes it was they paid a little bit up front and then they paid a little bit later, right? They paid 50% right on the sales call and then they paid 50% after the ads were up and running. Oftentimes we had someone who we didn't have all of the clout, all of the confidence, and so we said, you know what, we understand. Why don't you pay 50% now? And then once we do the work, as soon as the work is done, then you pay the rest of the 50%. And they were much more, willing to sign on that way. And then eventually we were able to just get people to sign on monthly at a recurring rate because we had the testimonials, because we had the case study, because we had the results and all of that shenanigans as well. So that's what that's what it comes down to. And so let's talk about Dave again, because Dave was someone, and I really admire and appreciate Dave because he is someone who is one of the first people to implement and execute this so simply. And we started our accelerator program about, I guess in October. So what is this, November? So I guess it was maybe September, I don't know, a couple of months ago, doesn't matter. And what he did is he went through the program, he learned the training, he learned the tools, and he just started using them. And you'll see that it says he landed another trial client yesterday. And here's what happened. So let's dive into this. He sent out a total of 46. He sent out a total of 57 messages, okay? 57 messages that were sent out, all right? He got all of these leads he didn't know any of these people. He got all these leads from Google Maps, okay? Then out of those 57, let's see, we had 25 of them replied. Almost half of them replied, okay? And out of those 25, he ended up getting 8 of them to go to his video, and one of those turned into an appointment, and one of those turned into a trial client. So here's the cool thing. He only had to talk to one person. He only dealt with this one person over here, this one appointment, and that one person ended up becoming a client. So he was 1 for 1. He was 100% on his sales calls over the course of 3 days. It's a rather, we're only showing 3 days right here. But he didn't have to deal all of those other, basically 56 people. He didn't have to deal with them because they weren't interested. They weren't ready. They couldn't afford him. They didn't want his stuff. And so it really can be this easy, this simple when you work the system the way that we talk about. And Dave is someone who in the accelerator just really, really did it at a high level. And I show it because a lot of people are thinking, yeah, Hector, but. And it's like, there's no buts. It's like, if you just go out there and just do what we talk about in the, what we talked about today, like the stuff works.